people, all life, all love. I am one with it all, one with the all of it all. I am one with it all, one with the all of it all. All health, all compassion, all peace, all joy. I am one with it all, one with the all of it all. I am one with it all, one with the all of it all. All that is good, all that is beautiful, all that is pure, all that is bountiful. I am one with it all, one with the all of it all. I am one with it all, one with the all of it all. All things, all people, all life, all love. I am one with it all, one with the all of it all. I am one with it all, one with the all of it all. All that is good, all that is beautiful, all that is pure, all that is bountiful. I am one with it all, one with the all of it all. I am one with it all, one with the all of it all. The all of it all is all that there is. The all of it all is all that there is. The all of it all is all that there is. The all of it all is all that there is. I am one with it all, one with the all of it all. I am one with it all, one with the all of it all. I am one with it all, one with the all of it all. I am one with it all, one with the all of it all.
My name is Arliss Dudley Cash, and I am a member of the Board of Trustees here at Center for Spiritual Living, West Hawaii, and my pronouns are she, her. In the spirit of aloha, I welcome you to our Sunday celebration. As we open our service, we acknowledge that in West Hawaii, we honor the rich and ancient heritage of Kanaka Maoli, the native people of Hawaii. We honor all communities, their elders, both past and present, as well as future generations. At CSL West Hawaii, we discover the truth of who we are through our center's vision of contributing to an emerging world by supporting humanity's awareness to its spiritual connection. We support this vision through our mission, which is to be a joyfully accepting, serving, and compassionate ohana, focused on holistic and mindful community growth through spiritual principles and practices. The spiritual truth is that we belong to each other, and this calls for us to be inclusive, to celebrate and embrace our unique identities, ability status, age, ethnicity, gender identity, national origin, physical characteristics, race, religion, and sexual orientation. I invite you now to set an intention for this week. Take a deep breath and allow yourself to sink into the feeling of that intention right now as you open to receive Spirit's guidance throughout our time together. As our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, taught, in principle, the great religions of the world do not differ as much as they appear to. That is why we take time each week to recognize and honor a variety of religions as sacred paths to God. I now invite Kim to lead us in the lighting of the flames of faith.
Thank you, Arliss. Hi, everyone. We perform this ceremony each Sunday to promote the universal consciousness of life, which acknowledges that all peoples, all faiths, all sentient beings come from the one great universal presence, which we call Spirit. And fundamental to this truth is the unifying nature of all spiritual thought and experience, which we honor here today. We light a candle for all forms of Buddhism, honoring the Four Noble Truths and the path of compassion. We light a candle for the universalistic religion of Baha'i, honoring the path of unity and peace. We light a candle for the Tao, honoring the universal path of harmony and equilibrium, the natural way. We light a candle for all forms of Christianity, honoring the Christ consciousness as the path of love. We light a candle for all forms of Islam, honoring the path of submission to the will of God as the highest calling. We light a candle for Hinduism, honoring the path of knowledge, action, and devotion. We light a candle for Judaism, honoring the ethical path of living by sacred law. We light a candle for the native traditions, including, of course, the Hawaiian culture, honoring the beliefs and practices of all indigenous peoples, the way of primal spirituality, and the spirit in all creation. We light a candle for Confucianism, honoring the path of deliberate tradition. We light a candle for Shintoism, honoring the path of optimism and the inherent goodness of all humanity. We light a candle for Akan, honoring the path of the divine, the ancestors, and nature. We light a candle for science of mind, honoring the path of adherence to the universal spiritual law and transformation through the commitment to our spiritual practices. We light all these candles for all forms of new thought, honoring the metaphysical path of mental healing through the practice of universal spiritual principles. We also light these candles as healing candles. So you may, if you choose, put silently into the light the names of anyone you wish to have experienced the healing flame of God's eternal love. We invite you to hold sacred any and all faiths in all their multiplicity by knowing love as the highest power that guides them all. Namaste, and so it is.
Thank you, Kim, for leading us in the lighting of the flames of faith. We realize that today's trends offer up many options for spiritual soul food, and we are grateful that you drop in to visit us today. We welcome you, and if you are with us for the first time, please consider joining at the end for the after chat, a time to connect and explore Sunday's message a little further. We'd love it if you would put your email address in the chat so that we can better welcome you, along with any comments or insights that you would like to share about our service as it unfolds today. So now let us consciously engage in spiritual practice together. We invite you to settle in, center yourself in this moment, and find that sacred place within where spirit is all there is. Our centering time today will be led by Kim Schneider, and first we begin with an affirmative prayer. Please join me in consciousness, knowing that there is only one life, one mind, one all creative force, infinite intelligence, known as God, Spirit, love, the divine. This one mind is the originating cause of all life seen and unseen, known and unknown. It is the substance from which I am, the energy that moves me, sustains me, and nurtures me into greater expansion of expression, so it may know through experience the fullness of itself. I speak my word for the part of me in the universe known as the multiple expressions within humanity. As I contemplate my place within this universe, I remember that God is ultimately energy in motion, the all of it, whole, complete, and perfect in and of itself. Creating through the law of its being, this one life moves about, boundless and harmonious, pouring the fullness of its nature into all creation. It is with this knowing that I recognize that speaking truth to circumstance means that nothing outside of me has any power over me except that which I give it. Circumstances are not entities of themselves, as they change and morph correspondingly to how I perceive myself in relationship with them. I fully embrace that the cosmic spiritual principles which govern the unseen infinite intelligence are operating in my life now as they are through all circumstance, and therefore I confidently meet and dissolve any and all perceived enemies. I stand as a wise spiritual warrior leading with love, the inspiration back of all life. I am focused and I do not get ensnared by smallness. By a spiritual activist transforming my mind's attachments and need for control into a vision of greatness as guided by divine wisdom. I claim this transformative power working through me now. With deep appreciation for the allness of God as the one life inspired by love and the law of its being that continues to reveal this truth, I release anything obstructing me from cultivating the loving acceptance for the presence of the divine as me here and now. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Arliss. Allowing your light to shine invites others to do the same. In this meditation is to assist you in feeling the wonder and magic of love. So take a moment to take a deep breath. And just centering yourself, feeling your light shine, shining your light to others. You find yourself facing a beautiful altar lit by one candle. The flickering light coming from the candle fills you with a deep sense of gratitude and love. One by one, people come to the altar, stand for a moment, and light their candle. After a time, you approach the altar and light your candle as well. As you do, you realize that lighting all those candles in no way diminishes the original candle. You turn and watch as people slowly share their light with others until the entire world is bathed in a gentle glow. In your mind's eye, you see yourself sharing your love with someone and that person sharing it with someone else until a single act of kindness circles the globe. You begin to send out ripples of peace and love and watch them expand and grow. Imagine those ripples flowing forward in time, creating ease and harmony in your life, enabling you to make all your decisions effortlessly. So today, let your light shine even brighter. And so it is.
Thank you, Kim, for that beautiful time of spiritual practice. Would you like to have more of that sacred spiritual connection? Our minister is here to support you in learning to live from this place. I invite you to reach out to the amazing Reverend Nadine at prayer.cslwh@gmail.com. And now, continuing our new July theme of speaking truth to circumstance, I'm delighted to introduce today's speakers, Reverend Andy and Bonnie Anderson, favorites within the New Thought movement, with their message, A Wise Spiritual Warrior. Reverend Andy and his wife, Reverend Bonnie, were co-spiritual directors of the Center for Spiritual Living in Roseburg, Oregon, where he was also the music director and choir leader. They are now traveling and sharing their music and workshops across the country. Andy has been described as a singer, songwriter, and poet who always comes from the heart. It has been referred to as spiritual food for the soul. Bonnie is a clear teacher and a speaker who is known to wake her audience up to their greatness. She delves deep into the truth of using personal stories and examples. Bonnie is a facilitator of Soul Collage. Please help me welcome Reverends Andy, and Bonnie. Woohoo!
Hi, everybody. Hello, good morning, good afternoon. We're delighted to be here with you this morning. Thank you so much for inviting us. We're privileged to be sharing our message with you today. The same message is being shared throughout Centers for Spiritual Living. So thank you. And we're glad that we're here. So Andy is going to begin. So I will let him speak his word.
Yes. So I'd just like to say again, good afternoon, Hawaii, and good morning, West Coast. So I'd just like to talk just a few minutes, just a little bit about our yearly theme, which I call the monthly theme, but it's a yearly theme, and that's living out loud. And today's topic really is about the wise spiritual warrior, but I want to let Reverend Bonnie dive into that just a little bit. So let's just dive right in and take a few minutes to talk about living out loud. And so living out loud has a special significance because whether we know it or not, or whether or not we are conscious of it or not, we're living out loud every day. So if that be the case, seems like to me we would want to live our best self, live from a place of love, live from a place of peace, live from a place of joy, thanksgiving. And so the first question, I like to ask questions sometimes. So the first question I would like to leave you with is that how are these attributes showing up in your life today, at this moment, as you're living it out loud? Now, a good friend of mine, and a good musician friend of mine, Jamie Lulu, he wrote a wonderful song, like "Something's Calling Me." Something is calling me, something is calling you, something is calling all of us to be our greater self, to be our bigger self, to go beyond where Captain Kirk says, to go beyond where no one has ever went before, because there are no limits as to what we can and cannot do. We only limit ourselves. And sometimes we forget, and when we forget, I call it amnesia. Sometimes we get amnesia and we forget that we are joined at the hip with something that is bigger and greater than we are, that allow us to express ourselves in such big ways. My ancestors used to have a wonderful saying: say, leave the wood pile higher when you leave than it was when you got here. So question is, how are you leaving your wood pile? Are you doing things that enhances life? Are you a life enhancer? Are you living this part of your life out loud? And be your true self, because this is the picture that out pictures in your life every day. You're living from the inside out, not from the outside in. So let me quote a quote from you, a little short passage from Dr. Ernest Holmes from the Science of Mind, our founder. And I just found this to be so wonderfully, and I think you get what I'm talking about here. On page 126 of the Science of Mind, it says, there is one infinite life acting through law, and this law is mental. Law is mind in action. We are surrounded by an infinite, subconscious, impersonal, neutral, plastic, and ever-present thinking stuff from which all things come, and which in its original state permeates and penetrates all things. By impressing our thought upon this substance, we can cause it to produce for us that which we think. Wow, wow, wow. I once wrote a song that says, we're always thinking, I'm always thinking, you're always thinking. But do you think about what you think about all day long? And see, so our thoughts produce things. So when we're living from this space of living out loud, we want to think about what we think about all day long, and we want to allow ourselves to come from that bigger perspective. We want to think, what they say, outside the box, outside the box. I wrote a song, says nothing is impossible, and when we say that nothing is impossible, the part of the words for that is sometimes I lose my way. I can, it gets dark, but then I remember there's always a light. There's always a light. There's something always tapping me on the shoulder that says I'm here. And when that, and when you take a moment to listen, slow down, take a breath and listen, then you recognize and you know that nothing is impossible. And when you forget that nothing is impossible, I remember that everything is possible. So I just like to leave you with a few moments with these words, is that know that living out loud means that you are living from the space of your greater self. Right? You want to light up the room when you walk in, yeah? And you don't even have to say a word. You don't have to say a word, yeah? Because your presence, that essence within you, is expressing itself. It says, "Hello, I'm here. I'm here." And all your job is to say yes. You know, YES. Those three little things. Am I worthy? Yes. Am I loved? Yes. Yeah. Am I awesome? Oh, absolutely. It's like, ooh wee. I mean, it's like I could just go on and on, but I'm limited by the clock here, and my wife is kicking me on the leg here, says I'm bumping up against the clock here, but but I just want to leave you with these few words, these few words. Don't take no for an answer. And I want to leave you with that. Know that there is a power and a presence that is greater than you are, and it's supporting your always ever-present idea. Yeah? Be a conduit and a channel to let this spirit express through you and as you. So as you're living out loud, as you're living this out loudness every day, know that you are also that wise warrior that Reverend Bonnie's going to talk about, yeah? Because they are both joined at the hip. You'll put that joint at the hip. I love you and thank you. So it is. Reverend Bonnie.
That was great, Reverend Andy. Thank you so much. You set it up perfectly. So starting out, I'm going to tell you a story that I know you've heard many times before. It's a very simple story and it's very powerful. So this is the story of an old Cherokee chief who was telling a story to his grandson. And he said, "Grandson, there's a fight going on within me between two wolves. And so for today, we're going to say that there's two warriors, the evil warrior and the wise spiritual warrior. And the evil warrior is representing anger and sorrow and judgment and guilt and regret. It's the ego. It's that part of us that is never satisfied with what we do and what others do. And then the other warrior that is inside us is the wise spiritual warrior represents the qualities of God, which are love, joy, peace, wisdom, beauty, life, light, all of the things that we aspire to, all of the things that light us up and give us life. The evil warrior represents separation. That part of us that doesn't see the connection in anything, that sees other people as different from us, that sees circumstances as something we have to fight against. But the wise spiritual warrior sees oneness from a higher vision, the oneness that we teach, the oneness that knows that we're all connected and we're all one, as Andy was saying. And so this Cherokee grandpa said, the fight is going on within you, grandson, and it's going on within everyone always. And so his grandson looks up at his grandfather and says, "Grandfather, which warrior will win?" And I'm sure you've all heard this story where he says, "The one we feed, the one we feed." Ernest Holmes says, where the mind goes, energy flows. That's one of the basic tenets of our teaching. So I want to ask you this morning, which one are you feeding in your life now? Which one are you listening to? Which part of yourself are you listening to? And as a minister, I want to say, well, of course, I'm always coming from the wise warrior, from the peaceful warrior. But that's not true, because just like all of us, I fall off sometimes and I go back into the other side. I start to see why things aren't possible. I look at the challenges and the circumstances and feel that they're real. So I want us to recalibrate this morning, including myself, and look at which part of ourselves are we feeding? Which part of ourselves are we putting energy into? Which part are we listening to? Which voice? Like Andy says, are we listening to the voice that says everything is possible? Or are we listening to the voice that says, you'll never be able to do that? Everybody knows that. You've never done it before. Living out loud, as Andy was saying, is about feeding that wise warrior, putting our attention on truth and knowing the truth, manifesting and expanding and coming from a higher vibration, a higher place. Because change manifests in the outer world, but it begins on the inner, begins in the inner life. When we make war on the outer circumstances, it empowers those circumstances. When we see those things, that those obstacles in our life as real, we give them power. And the spiritual warrior sees things differently. The spiritual warrior takes a step back and looks past the appearance into the truth. Instead of getting angry, the spiritual warrior asks questions like, what do I want to see here instead? The questions such as, what is Spirit's highest idea here? Because what happens is we're taking ourselves to an expanded vision. The fearful warrior constricts. The wise warrior expands and looks at all possibilities and opens up to the highest good. Plotinus said, I do not argue, I contemplate. And, you know, the fearful warrior loves to argue, that part of ourselves, doesn't it? It loves to tell those stories over and over again if we have a problem. I know for me, it's sort of like a hamster wheel. It goes again and again, and I say, okay, forget it, stop doing that, Bonnie. And then 5 minutes later, I'm back on the hamster wheel. Collective consciousness tells us to make war on our problems, to make war on our enemies, to make war with those that we don't agree with. Where the peaceful warrior comes from the heart. That part of ourselves that always leads us in the right direction, with divine guidance, speaks from the heart. So I know for me, when I'm confused or I find myself unable to stop that negative voice, I close my eyes and take a deep breath and go into my heart. You can do that right now. Just close your eyes for a moment. Take a breath. You can even put your hands on your heart if you like, and feel that energy there. Feel it expanding. Feel the goodness and the light in your heart growing and expanding. You can open your eyes, and when you're confused, it's a good place to go to get back to that wise part of yourself. Nisargadatta Maharaj said, all separation, every kind of estrangement and alienation is false. All is one. This is the ultimate solution to every conflict. Just remembering the oneness. Because when we're confused and fearful, we feel alone. And in truth, we are never alone. We are connected with the web, the divine web of the universe that loves us unconditionally. And divine wisdom is as close as our heart. It's as close as taking a breath and dropping down into your heart and asking the question, What shall I do? What is the answer? And it might not come that moment. It might come a little later. Maybe you turn the radio on and there's a song. Maybe you see something, a bird flies overhead, and that's your answer. But the answer will always come. All is one. Oneness invites us to see the intrinsic worth of everyone we encounter. I don't know about you, but if you ever have conflicts with those close to you or people you work with or your spouse or your partner or your friends, if we see the intrinsic worth, even people that we don't agree with, people, there's so much separation in this country now, and we make each other wrong. But instead of doing that, we could shift to the place of seeing how we're alike. We're so much more alike than we realize. We're all trying to love and lead a joyful life. So when we focus on the strength of others, how they are like us rather than how they are different from us, it shifts everything, doesn't it? It shifts everything. It raises us up to a higher perspective where it's easier to see the truth. The fearful warrior tells us that we have to make things happen. We have to work hard and make things happen and change people, which we know isn't possible, and that we have to fight our circumstances to make everything turn out. The spiritual peaceful warrior realizes that it's not our power to create change. We co-create with the divine, with God. We turn within and let the power come through us, as Andy was saying. Our willingness to be co-creators of truth, open to the wisdom. Joyce Carol Oates, who's a wonderful author, said, "I'm just the garden hose that the water flows through." I love that. I'm just a garden hose that the water flows through. We are a conduit for the divine. We are a conduit for joy, for peace, for love, when we allow ourselves to open to that. And our job is just to be open and receptive. There's a wonderful book called What's in the Way is the Way. I highly recommend it. And they say, rather than always being in the fix-it mode, I learned how to meet myself exactly as I am, opening to the place beyond judging, fixing, getting rid of, and trying to understand. When we're in that fearful place, we feel like we can't make a mistake. We have to get it right. We've got to fix it. When we see ourselves as a conduit for the divine, it switches. Do you want to be a conduit for joy? How about that? How would you like to walk through your day and say, I'm a conduit for joy. I'm spreading joy. What does being an authentic spirit-centered warrior mean? It's not getting hypnotized by smallness, by the people that tell us that we're small and powerless. It's going for the greatness and opening up to that divine guidance. So which warrior are you feeding? Think about that. You might take some time to contemplate this week and listen to yourself and notice when you're getting into that fearful place, and notice when you're not, and just become aware of how easy it is to switch back and forth, because we're so much more powerful than we realize. You are so much more powerful than you realize. What is flowing through your garden hose? If we are a garden hose for spirit to flow its waters forth, what are we spreading? What are we allowing in? Like the wonderful story of Indira's net, where there is a beautiful net with a jewel in each intersection of the net, a beautiful reflective jewel. And this jewel not only reflects what's around us, it reflects every other jewel. And we are like that. We all impact each other. We all reflect each other, and we're all of equal brilliance. There's not one jewel that is more beautiful than the other. We're all have the potential to shine and glow in our perfection. That's the truth of who we are. And we're all interconnected. What I do affects you. What you do affects me. We can all affect change, even though we don't notice it. It may be more, like the bamboo that takes years of tiny growth until it bursts forth. It can, and it is amazing. The change that we have started in our hearts can keep going and growing. Andy writes beautiful spiritual music, and he is a conduit for all of the wisdom that flows through that. And sometimes he doesn't even realize, but he'll go back to a church a second or third time, and someone will come up to him and say, every time I go to ride my rollerblades in the morning, I have your music in my ears. So then he's a conduit for joy, isn't he? And people will say, when I can't get into a better mood and I'm in a funk, on the way to work every morning, I'll play one of your songs that touches them. And it lifts them up. It lifts them up and changes their vibration so that when they walk into their job, they're feeling so much better. There was a 10-year-old African-American boy who heard Andy's music and was very touched by it. And the next time we went back to the Eugene church, his mother came up to Andy and said, "My son has been listening to your music. I bought him a CD and he's had it on his earphones. It's been his background music of his life." Like saying, yes, you can do it. Nothing's impossible. He's listening to that uplifting music all the time. So Andy allowed himself to be that conduit. And sometimes we don't even realize the effect we have on someone else's life. We don't even realize it. So I'd like to close with a quote from Dr. Ernest Holmes. We have within us a power that is greater than anything we shall ever contact in the outer. A power that can overcome every obstacle in our life and set us safe, satisfied, and at peace, healed and prosperous in a new light and in a new life. So I invite you to listen to the two warriors that live within you. Listen this week and allow the powerful, wise, divine warrior to work through you in the world, to make one small change, to realize that you have an impact on people more than you realize. And to allow yourself to be a conduit for joy and peace and love and wisdom. So let us pray. There is one power, there is one presence that I call spirit. And I know that I am connected always. I live in the heart of the divine. That I am unlimited. I am perfect and whole in every way. That I allow myself to access the divine wisdom of the universe and to bring that to life into the world. To know that there is no circumstance that can control me. When I am aware of the divine power that I am, there's nothing I cannot accomplish. And I spread peace. Rather than fear and guilt and worry, I choose this day to spread peace and love and joy. I am a conduit for these things. I am a conduit for joy, for love, for peace. And I allow it to go before me and make way. And I am so extremely grateful for the knowledge that I have of the two warriors that live within me, for the power that I have to choose which I listen to and feed. And I choose to feed my wise, wonderful self. So I release this now. I release it gently. I plant these seeds in the fertile soil of mind and know that they are already germinating and growing. As you join me in saying, and so it is.
Thank you so much. And I believe that we have a piece of music that is going to be shared. Would you like to introduce that?
Yes. This music is called, I forgot my own song. Anyway, the song came in one piece. And as it came, well, let me tell you the story behind it. I was sitting down watching TV one day, and I was just flipping through the channels, and everything that I saw, I heard in those few moments, it was nothing good. And I'm looking at the TV, I'm going, whoa, stop. That's not the truth. That's not the truth. Whoa, hold on. And at that instant, words began to flow through me. Spirit had said, I have something to say. And I went and found a pencil and I just started writing. And the words just came. And when it was finished, it set the world free. And I look back at it and I go, wow. So that's the song that Spirit wrote that we're going to share with you right this moment. Set the world free. Don't let this life pass you by. Stand tall and let your truth, let it shine. You're in charge of your destiny. It's only love that can set you free. Love is the only thing. Look straight ahead, no matter what life may bring. Let's not divide by class or race. Don't buy into the rage and the hate. It's only love that will let us see. Oh, it's only love that will set the world free. Love your fellow man, no matter the color. I know we can. We're all a part of the human race. So let's not forget, please don't hesitate. Can we respect and love one another? Even though we don't agree with each other, we are one people living on one planet. We will build or destroy it together. It's only love that will let us see. Oh, it's only love will set the world free. Don't wait for the by and by, thinking it will come from somewhere in the sky. It's only up to you and I, so let's live it from the inside out. Oh, let's respect and love one another, even though we don't agree with each other. We are one people living on one planet. We will build or destroy together. Oh, so can we love and let love see? Oh, it's only love that will
That was amazing. Let's all unmute and give a big woohoo for that. Woohoo!
All right. Thank you, Andy.
That was incredible. Wow. What
And
a
Bonnie.
yeah, what a powerful duo, Reverend Bonnie and Andy. Oh, that was just incredible. Thank you so much for you both being here today. And please join us next Sunday as we come together virtually to continue our theme of speaking truth to circumstance with Reverend Sharon Mitchell, speaking on contemplating compassionate communication. Oh, that's a good one too. And now it's time for our conscious giving, an opportunity to participate in the law of circulation. We know that we have to receive as well as give, so I invite you to let your divine inner wisdom choose the blessing of joy that calls to you, whether it's one on the screen or something from your higher self. Keep it with you all week, and remember how much you are loved. Wonderful. Now we can complete the law of circulation by giving back. I invite you to invoke the feelings of gratitude through thoughts of infinite possibility right where you are, allowing that to fill you and the space around you. Thank you for all of the ways that you support the center and the community, whether it be in the form of donation, your time, or by sharing your positive light out into the world. And now let us speak our prosperity affirmation together. This gift I give is God in action. I give it in love. I give it in joy. I give it in gratitude. I give it knowing that it is given again. And so I graciously give, and so it is. We offer easy ways to make a donation of your offering, and you can make a donation through our website at cslwh.org. There is a button at the top of the screen that says donation, or you could send a check to the address on the slide. We graciously and gratefully receive your gifts and tithes. Your support allows us to connect with each other to create a center where we can thrive and learn to contribute to a world that works for everyone. And last but not least, here are a variety of ways to connect and engage in our community. So our next in-person Sunset Ohana meetup is today. Join us for the fun and stimulating conversation from 4:30 to 6 p.m. at Spencer Beach Park. We'll be at the tables right off of the center sidewalk on the right side of the beach as you pull in. So pull in and park on the right side. Look for us, and we're going to be bringing poo-poos and refreshments to share, and you're also welcome to bring something to share. Lives are impacted, changed, and transformed through the application of the science of mind teachings. It's important to share our demonstrations as they serve to inspire others and help to keep us moving in the best direction for ourselves. We have a fillable form on our website, so hop on and share your good news with us. Oh, I think that's for the next slide. Yes, our testimonials. So make sure that you log on to our website and check out our testimonials form. We would love for you to share with us something that has happened in your life and the outcomes that you saw and the practices that you used to see that outcome. And then we'll be featuring your testimonials in different ways. So you can do it anonymously, or you can put in your full name if you want to. Next slide. We have a new 30-day, 20-minute per day course happening for the month of September. It's called Prosperous Me, after the book written by Reverend Michelle Wadley. It runs from 8:30 to 8:50 every morning, covering the metaphysical principles and practices to help expand your consciousness of acceptance and manifestation. Get your daily boost of abundance with Reverend Nadine. The cost is only $69 plus the cost of the book, which you can find on Amazon. And there's links to register for this event on cslwh.org, or you can email us at cslwh.board@gmail.com. Okay, so on behalf of our entire community, thank you for being part of our spiritual family today. We look forward to seeing you again. Please stay around for the after chat directly after our closing prayer and our peace song. It's now my pleasure to reintroduce Reverends Bonnie and Andy to close our service with affirmative prayer.
So we know together that as we came together as one to listen to this service, we continue this knowledge of our oneness, of our connection to the divine as we walk through our lives. We remember we are never alone. We are always supported and divinely guided. So we open wide the gates of our ears, of our inner ears, and listen for those truths that are whispered. We allow ourselves to be our greatness, to be our wise spiritual self in this world. And we are so grateful for this gathering, for every person here. We're so grateful for the music that's been shared and all the wonderful people that came together to make this service possible. So we allow this to be released into the mind and know that it is done and it is good and it is very good. And so it is.
So it is.
Again, thank you for coming today, and we look forward to seeing you next week.